What's going on, Lee Tribe, and anyone else new to the channel? My name is Lisa, and you guys, I am very excited for this video because this is something that I've never really done on this channel in the, 15 years I've been on YouTube almost. Well, two things I don't do. Consistency. I think I did like 10 videos last year, you guys. Isn't that terrible? I was going to say I'm going to do better in 2022. I always say that and then I don't. So I'm going to stop promising that. But your girl's been busy. She's been learning a lot. And I'm just super excited for 2022. But I've never really shown my early progress on anything that I've ever done online. When I came on YouTube in 2007, I had quit my job the year before, and I had been making money online for years. People always reminded me, well, you had an early adopter advantage. And I did have an early adopter advantage. I don't try to hide behind that. Same thing with Merch by Amazon when I joined in 2016. It was only a year old. And then when I began teaching it in 2017, 18, I had been doing print on demand since 2011, even before Merch by Amazon with Zazzle. So I had years of experience and stuff when I started, making videos about it. So this is the first time that you've ever seen my early start, like my first days of something. So I think this should be interesting, hopefully, for a lot of you. So I know I titled this my first month, but what you're looking at here is really my first full month. Well, February 1st is over here on the right, but you're looking at my first full month. And let me hit refresh because I've gotten accused in the past with merch reports of faking things. Although if I'm going to fake something, I'm going to have more sales than this. So let me hit refresh just so you can see the lines moving. Okay. So this is what I did in the first full month, which is January. So a little over $200. This is not all profit. I did run ads. So I sold, for the month of January, I sold 99 books. 40 of those were with ads. So still the majority without ads. Now, because I titled this my first month, let's be real here. Let me go to my actual first month, which would be December 18th through January 18th, roughly, somewhere like that. So in December, I published 6 books. In early January, between like the start of the month through like the, 12th or 13th, I published 6 more books. So I published 12 books in total. So my first actual month was really like 40 something sales. So this is actually my first month. Okay. But January just looks a little bit more impressive, don't you think? So I did want to make sure you guys know that. So the video that I did last, when I had that first sale, I had published that book earlier that month. So it still sold within that first week, but I had published other books that had not sold. First of all, of the 12 books, 7 of them sold at least once. I do have 2 that converted all organically, no ads at all. Okay. Actually, it might even be 3. Yeah. So what did I publish? I published logbooks. So when I say logbook, I mean like let's say for a diabetic and they want to log their blood sugar levels for the day. That's a logbook. So something of that nature. Journals, but no content journals. I did not want to touch the no content journals. I just felt like that's like the easy thing everybody does. And I felt like in 2022, that would just be hard to break into. And then I did coloring books. And so for my journals, there were prompts in them. So they weren't no content. They were like low content. And then the coloring books. And I did the best overall with the coloring books. And those took the most amount of time. So it took me on average between 1 to 3 hours per book. But by the time I did my last coloring book, it was just like, I had my template set up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a separate video for the ads and how I create my stuff. Because I just did a dry run of this video. It was 40 minutes long. My mouth was dry. I had to take a break and drink some water. And that's just too long of a video. This is already probably going to be long enough. So I will cover the research and the ads and how I create my books in a separate video. And I'm just going to focus mostly on the numbers and research in this particular video. So this was my first full month, you guys. So right in here, my ad cost was really getting kind of high. I was averaging about 15 to 16 cents per click because one of my books was doing pretty well at first. So I raised my bid, raised my budget, and then it started to become really unprofitable. So I lowered my bids. And so this is where you see this little break here, not any sales. But if you look, I only really had, if you count, when I started getting sales, I really only had 3 days without sales. But this area right here is where my bids were down very low. So my bids right now are all like at 3 to 5 cents, 7 cents, and I'm still getting sales. A lot of these are organic sales, and I'm still getting ad sales too, even at that price. So I'm really having to learn how to optimize my ads. And I know a lot of you on Twitter had said, can you please do a video? I will go over that in the next video. But again, I feel a little uncomfortable like officially teaching that because I'm still learning. So I will talk about it, but just understand I am learning, but I'm getting better. In the past, I would bail on advertising with Facebook ads back in the day, or even MBA back in 2018 when I first got access to ads. I always bailed on them, but now I regret not learning. Because let me tell you something. When you do your keyword research and you see these products, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a book, and you see all the reviews and you're like, oh, that's a good keyword. And you think, wow, I'm not getting any sales like they are. A lot of times it's because that person is running ads, and it might not be for that keyword you researched, but they're getting found for keywords that you would never get found for because you're not running ads. Let me show you an example. So this is one of my books that did pretty well. It's at, I made 73 with this particular book. This book started converting for keywords that were very, very broad. They weren't specific to my title. So imagine advertising a Doberman puppy coloring book, right? So you would think, oh, I'll get found for Doberman puppy coloring book. No, I was converting for very broad phrases like cute coloring book. One time I think I even converted for coloring book by itself. That's the beauty of running automatic ads, is that Amazon will just try all these different keyword combinations to see what's going to stick. So a lot of times when you're doing organic and you're not doing ads and you're trying to compete, it's hard to compete with these people that are running ads and they're getting found and converting for keywords that you would never rank for. So that's why people that run ads have such a big advantage. Now, do you have to run ads? No, I had books that sold without ads. I'm going to show you one in just a second. So this book right here, no ads at all. Funny story about these 12 sales here. So I was at my parents' house and I was making my mom I was roasting some sunflower seeds for her because we have this addiction to roasted sunflower seeds our way. We roast them to like a little bit more done than the average doneness that you get like at the store when they roast them. So I was at their house and I had some sunflower seeds in the oven. So I was waiting for the oven timer to go off, had my laptop on the kitchen table. I open it up. I want to see if I sold any more books on KDP. I open it up and I see this line go up and I'm like, oh, I don't care how long you've been making money online. It's always exciting when you see those sales, especially when you're learning something. You know what I mean? This was just like, oh my goodness, this is all the motivation I need. I told y'all in that last video, all I need is one sale and I'm gone, right? And so I got so caught up. I'm trying to figure out what sold, and I'm going through my reports, and all of a sudden I start smelling something. I'm like, oh, I'm burning the sunflower seeds. And my mom's running up the steps. Girl, if you don't close that laptop and get these seeds out I was so focused on, what had sold. But anytime I see that, I always think about that. But so this is an example of a book that sold, no ads. And here's another one, no ads. Now these sales aren't as impressive, but they still sold without ads. So you still can sell without ads. The key, the niches. You have to understand the process of carving out your niche. Now, I'm about to share with you guys my strategy. Some of you all are going to be disappointed in this strategy because it seems too simple. And I think people oftentimes assume that in order to be successful, you have to have this cut and dry. You have to use all these tools. Let me just say, for me, I don't do well with tools. I don't know what it is. Back in the day when we used to do the niche websites and the affiliate marketing, people would always be buying these keyword research tools. They never really helped me that much. I would love to use Merch Informer because I can promote it on my channel and get an affiliate commission. I have a free copy of Merch Informer from them. They wanted me to promote it. You notice I don't ever promote it because it doesn't help me. I just find tools to be overwhelming and I find them to create analysis paralysis. And I'm not saying that they don't work, but I just don't do well with tools. So somebody on my last video said that they don't ever feel like us creators really help when it comes to showing niches. I'm about to show you an exact way I would research and niche down. And I will just say this, if this doesn't help, I'm not going to be able to help anybody. Because this is exactly what I do. I'm not saving this tip or hiding things because I'm coming out with a KDP course in the near future. Child, I'm not thinking about no courses. Let me tell you, I have so much energy, as you can tell, probably. I have so many ideas. I couldn't even sleep last night because I thought of another way to use this to make more passive income. I don't have time to create any more courses. So I'm not hiding anything from you guys. This is what I would do. This is exactly what I would do. So let's say you want to do a coloring book and you're like, well, I don't know what niche to get into. And so you think of some broad topics. What about Christian coloring books, right? So you search for Christian coloring books and you get 10,000 results. No, you don't want to go into anything that, well, let me just say, I wouldn't go into anything that broad. All my keywords for all of my products, if you were to type in the main keyword, under 600 results. I'm not saying you can't go higher than that. I'm saying that's me. That's what I do. So 10,000 results is too much. So what I then do is I scroll through and I say, let me look through here and let me see if anyone has niched this down in a way. Psalms. So instead of just a generic Christian coloring book, a specific coloring book for Psalms. Oh, and here's one on faith. So this one on Psalms is very interesting to me. Now, disclaimer, I'm assuming it's legal to use Bible quotes in coloring books. I haven't done the research on this, but let's just assume for the sake of this video, that is the case. But please do your own research on this. I am not a legal expert, okay? So a lot of people would be okay with this because let's see what Psalms coloring book looks like. 590 results. That fits my criteria, right? Are they selling? This one is 206,000, not too bad. This one is selling really well. I don't believe this one is KDP though, but it's still selling. Yeah, they're doing well. They're doing very well. A lot of people would stop here and that's fine. I would say you could go with this. I would take it a step further. And on my bestseller, let me tell you this, my two bestsellers, the one that I use with ads and the ones that didn't use any ads at all. Both of those books are in spaces no one else is in. So the broader space is popular, like for example, Christian coloring books. But the way I narrowed it down 3 times, like you're going to see here in a second. So this is the second phase. The first phase would be Christian coloring books. So you narrow that down a second time to Psalms coloring book. I would go one more again and narrow it down one more time. Why? When this is already narrow enough. I just like to put out stuff that no one else is doing because I feel like you'll have more longevity. So when I think of coloring books, what do I think of? They're very good stress relievers, right? For adults. So we already know that coloring books sell anyway. Adults like to buy them. We've already narrowed down to Psalms, something very specific. So all of your coloring books will feature quotes from Psalms. Since we're talking about Christianity, Psalms, the Bible, what does the Bible often help with? Anxiety, worry, right? So with anxiety being such a huge problem in this world today, I might even narrow this down a little more and do a Christian Psalms coloring book to help with anxiety. So now you've got coloring book, you've got Psalms, you've got anxiety. And if you were to start advertising this book, you will now have so many keywords that this book could be found for. I'm telling you, one of my keywords converted for the keyword gift. There was a gift related keyword. It was a broad term. So this is especially helpful when you're advertising. So imagine you've got a coloring book with Psalms for anxiety. So somebody might type in a coloring book for anxiety. Somebody might type in a gift idea with Psalms or a Psalms book. There's so many keyword combinations that your book can be found for. And so most people doing anxiety coloring books only do the broad anxiety coloring book term. Well, that's too broad. 6,000 results for anxiety coloring book. So again, I would narrow it down once again and do a Psalms coloring book for anxiety. And I would focus on quotes from Psalms or verses from Psalms that deal with worry and anxiety to fit the title. And see, while most other people are just doing generic anxiety, now you've got a Psalms anxiety coloring book. You see what I'm doing here? You're giving yourself more opportunity. And I know what a lot of you are thinking, but there's no evidence that that sold before. Exactly. Same with my books, my bestseller. I'm the only one in that space right now. For my 2 bestsellers, one organic sale, the other with ads, the only one. And yet it's still sold. So don't be afraid to go into spaces and be first, as long as you know that the overall idea has sold in the past. That's the key. Don't be afraid of that. That's how you stand out. And imagine if you end up running ads to it and you get some early reviews, it's going to be harder for the non-advertising people to catch you because you're going to be getting sales at a faster rate. And it's all about getting ahead. The biggest mistake that I made with Merch by Amazon is I was always very strong with the niching down and the ideas. And so I had a lot of early sellers that sold for a long time, but I messed up when I got access to ads in 2018. I should have taken advantage of that because I could have gotten a lot more sales with ads, and it would have been harder for the copycats to hone in on those designs. Because when you're advertising, you're just getting sales at a faster rate. And that's why you see these shirts and these books with 5,000 reviews and they've only been out a year. They're using ads and they have a huge advantage. So I regret not using ads. I really, really do, you guys. This is exactly what I would do. So if you're one of those people that commented in that last video and said, I don't understand, you guys don't ever give us any examples, let me know. What else do you need? Because I don't know how else to explain it, because this is exactly what I would do. And I guess maybe the difficult part is thinking of the original idea off the top of your head, Christian coloring book. I don't know. I just start with broader topics. Mom coloring book. What way can I niche this down to a first time mom? Just that's my process. No tools. I'm not saying tools can't be helpful. I admire people that really know how to use tools correctly and scale. I'm not a tool person. I just prefer to do it manually. But that is my process right there. I could not think of a better example. The only thing I'm not really telling you is the keywords that I chose for myself. And just in case anybody's curious, did I use any art or niches from Merch by Amazon that I had sold in before? No. In fact, shout out to Latasha Johnson, because she reminded me that she had told me that you can just use your existing art from Merch by Amazon and make journals. I didn't even think about that. Somebody else posted that in the last video. But no, these are all niches that I have never, ever sold in before. And this is why I'm excited to share this with you, because anybody can do what I just did. I didn't use any type of advantage or traffic or whatever to promote these that I have existing or anything. You can do this. I have so many ideas on how to make more passive income just from supporting the KDP community. Anybody who says you can't make money online today, I know we're in a crazy time with inflation and spending is down. I understand that, but we're going to get past this. There's so much opportunity out here, you guys. You just have to practice learning to think outside the box a little bit and enjoy this, and try not to overthink everything. Just get it out there so you can learn. I have a cousin I'm trying to get her in on this. She's in her 20s, trying to get her in on this. And I told her, because she's a bit of a perfectionist. And I said, look, cuz, just put it out there. If you make a mistake, you can always republish your book, right? Okay. You can't change your title, but you can republish your book or your cover. So just start. You will learn. Did I make any mistakes? Yes. The first mistake that I made is I didn't realize how important it was to have the most important content on your first few pages. So let me click one of these. I don't want to click somebody's sponsored ad. So when people click look inside, they can see the first few pages of your book. And I made the mistake of like putting some promotional type stuff in here. Sorry, I forgot to turn off my pretty merch. Hold on, let me pause this. Okay, what was I saying? Oh, so this preview here is a good preview. And see, you guys, you don't have to do images. You can do text coloring books. Obviously, if you're doing Psalms, you're going to be doing, text. But yeah, and we'll talk more about that in the second video. But see how this person is using this space here to promote themselves. I would put this type of stuff at the end and make sure your first few pages are showcasing your art. I didn't really see that tip a lot in the videos that I was watching. That is one mistake I made. Another mistake I made, one of my covers could have been better. Study the covers of these books. What are people using? They tend to be heavily populated with flowers, lots of color, and then the title in the middle. This is a great book right here. Don't be afraid to outsource the covers on Fiverr. I'm typically not a fan of Fiverr, but I've heard a lot of great stories about people getting great covers on Fiverr. And if you're a designer, another way to make money online, you could create a channel teaching KDP users how to make good covers and sell templates on Gumroad or Creative Fabrica. I'm even considering selling KDP interior stuff on Creative Fabrica. I mean, there's just so many income opportunities out here, you guys. So I will come back with with how I make my books and everything, as well as what I'm going to do in the future with KDP. Am I going to be publishing 12 books a month? No. I was just doing that to see what was going to stick. Thanks for watching. I hope I haven't rambled too much, and I will talk to you in the next video.